I hope you're all well. We're just coming up to dead in the middle of August now, and we're still going through this period of hot, warm weather, and the temperatures have been mid-20s for the last week during the day, up to about 28 or 29 last weekend, I believe. The reports coming in from the beaches are not good. North Norfolk is completely swamped out with weed at the moment. Northeasterly winds at the minute as well, that's not helping. But even last week when we had a little break and some southwesterlies, still getting tons of weed. More on the sand, but even on the shingle, I had a lure session on the shingle and there was plenty of weed around there, so that sort of ruled that out for tonight's little escapade. So it's 11:30 in the evening now, and I'm making my way down to Southwold again tonight. I was looking back at my records from last year in my diary, and it was about this time of the year that I managed to pick up a few soles. So I think that's what I'm going to try and look at tonight. I'm going to make my target will be a sole tonight, but I'm going to use sort of lighter, scratchy gear to maybe pick up other species as well. We'll sort of go through that a bit better when we get down there. So I've now just come off the NDR and I've got about an hour to go. So what I'll do is get the drive done and then bring you back once we're in the car park. Well, as you can see, I'm on the beach now and I'm set up. But you might also notice there's a lack of a pier. I've made a bit of a schoolboy error this morning, and I pulled up in the pier car park and I popped my head over to have a look. I see it's a little bit rougher than I expected it to be, but I thought no, it's still worth a go. It's a little bit sheltered there either side of the pier, and that was the plan. And then I saw one of the signs up there that obviously dogs are not allowed on the beach this time of the year. Now I brought the dog with me this week, so knowing my luck, I'd be walking off the beach at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and get caught. So what I've done is moved to the south side of the town, and I'm up at the sort of harbour end, and I'm on the beach, which is called, I think it's called Dunhill Beach, and there's a cafe, toilets and everything up here, little free car park over the other side. I'll show you all the layout and stuff in the morning when it's light. So what I've done is quickly thrown a rod together. I've brought me light rods today, my little Conti rods, fixed ball reels. What I plan to do, as I normally do, start off with the one rod, and I'll put a little 2 or 3 hook scratching rig on, and just see if it can sort of tempt anything. I know that the soles do get caught off this beach as well, right up as far as the harbour mouth, so I'm right in the middle of that, and that's what I intend to do. Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of a go here tonight, but basically it's going to be flapping style rigs on the bottom, small hooks, size 4s, size 6s. I've brought 100 lugworm for bait. I've got a few prawns, a little bit of squid and a wrap of blacks, but fresh lug will be the start, and we'll see how we get on with that. Okay, so what I've done is I've rigged up a little 2 hook flapper but with metal booms on, just to try and pin those hook baits down on the bottom. 2 little fresh lugworm and a 5-ounce gripper at the start. I wanted to use a plain lead, but I think that tide's going to be a bit too much, that swell. So I'm going to start off with this and we'll see how we go. Not going to put it out too far. So obviously the secret of the sole fishing is they're literally normally under your feet. So just a gentle lob. Twenty yards out, I suppose. And we'll give it a start there. Right, so after I sort of had to make a little bit of a detour and a bit of a move, and we come down and check the beach out before I got all the gear out. That's just approaching 1:30 now, so I'm about half an hour later than what I wanted to be. We got a high water at around about 4 AM, and that will be not far off of first light, so got plenty of time, got plenty of bait. It's just a question now of just seeing if I can get anything to respond. I might have to go out a little bit further because that swell in the edge there is quite rough, really, considering. The actual wind is not too bad, and the temperature's still 18.5 degrees, so I'm sitting here still like, I've got a hoodie on at the moment, which I put on just to come from the car. I think I'm going to be getting rid of that in a minute, because I'm literally boiling. Got back there, I might have a look at that. Let's have a go. Now, I don't know if you can remember the last time I fished up the other end. When I was fishing for the sole, I was getting a load of little schoolie bass. Let's just put my head torch on so I can see what's going on. No, nothing there. Top bait's a bit wrapped up, so I'll get that sorted. All rebaited, two nice fresh little lug baits. I've changed the lead over. There wasn't that much pull on that lead, so I'm going to see if I can get away with that, which is a 5-ounce pyramid hybrid. So it's got a little bit of grip on it, but it'll also be able to move a little bit, which is what I want. So let's just pop that out again. Put the light on this time so I can see where we're going. Put that out a little bit further, and what I'm going to do is just sit the rod up a little bit higher, just to avoid those bigger waves right in the edge. Now I can already see from the tip, putting it out that little bit further, I'm picking up more tide, and also there's obviously no wires on it now, so I think that's going to move and pull around. As long as it don't go around too quick, I'm not that fussed, because it covers more area, searches more seabed if it can move a little bit here and there. Every now and again a few waves pull the rod, but I'll just check the line and it's straight. Oh, there's a bite. That looks like a bite. Yeah, that's something on there. Let that develop. I've only got time. Yeah, that's a bite. Missed it, I think. If I haven't missed it, oh yeah, there is something there. Only small. What we got? What a surprise! These little bass that plagued me last time. But a fish is a fish. Let's just turn my head torch off. Can't grumble at that. That's pulled the rod tip right over and sprung it back. Not broke the lead out, but moved the lead. So, promising start. Well, that was an encouraging start. It's only the second cast. We've had ourselves a little bass. I've just got the second rig that's going out as an earth rig, a little pyramid style lead, and an earth. And we'll chuck that out about the same distance. I did think might see a bass or two tonight. Let's see like that. Yeah, about the same distance again, about 30 yards I suppose. I'm just putting single fresh lug on at the moment. I'm looking at that tide and I'm hoping I'm not got to move this shelter. It's 2 o'clock, I've got 2 hours to go, and there's a lip in front of me which I think is the high tide line. So fingers crossed it doesn't come past there. otherwise we'll be moving everything quite sharpish. Okay, the other rig's now baited up again. I'm going to get that on the stand so it's not in the way. And I'll probably stick with the one rod at the moment and just keep rotating the two rigs. Sometimes if you put two rods out, it can get sort of very hectic and confusing. You're missing bites on one because you're baiting the other one or reeling the other one in. That's the reason really I've put those tip lights on. I don't normally like using them, but when I'm trying to film something, that does help. Obviously makes it a little bit more interesting for people watching in the dark. I've managed to sort the light now. I've got a decent light. The good thing about these summer sessions is obviously it gets light quite early in the morning. It's now starting to draw out a little bit. The first couple of goes when I come back from holiday in June, it was breaking light at 3:30 in the morning and sunrise was just after 4. Well, sunrise is now, it's probably 5:30, proper sunrise, but it will be light by, I would say, 4:15 to 4:30-ish, light enough to see what you're doing anyway. It's just 2 o'clock now, so I've been fishing just over half an hour. I'm probably going to, if I don't get a bite, I'm going to change the baits probably every 20 minutes. Right, I've had a few little knocks on there, but it's time for a bait change anyway. Wind's picked up quite a bit out here now. Hopefully the wind gag is stopping the interference, but yeah, that has really picked up from when we got here. If we don't get any joy, and we do on that one with the size 4s, I'll change over. You know, straight away I just had an indication on there of a pluck, if you like. And that don't look like a bass. So on the app for the wind, it's saying at the moment it's north-northeast, 11 miles per hour, gusting 17. So that's the 17 you can actually feel when you go out there. And you've got an hour and 47 minutes to high tide, so I probably will just about get away with it here where I'm sitting. There's quite a pronounced little step down there. I don't know if it's spray or a little bit of rain out there. I think it's actually a little bit of drizzle we're getting out there. You can see it on that light coming through there like that. Some of it's sand as well though, because that wind is whipping up the really light sand on this beach. Definitely a little bit of rain. So one thing I've noticed, and it's a good little tip really here, is this time of year with these temperatures that are still sort of 18 degrees at night, just take enough lugworm out of your cool box as you need. Take out 4 or 6 at a time, leave the rest, keep them nice and cool. Because in this heat, it doesn't take long for them to start deteriorating and even blowing. They were in tip-top condition when I took them out, and I've taken out about 8 or 10 of them and lay them on the paper. And what I do is some of them I burst and sort of toughen them up a bit, and already a couple of them are all starting to show signs of puffing up and blowing. So keep them in the cool box and just take them out as and when you need them. Keep your bait in tip-top condition. Well, I think I've found the culprit for what those little rattly bites were. I just had like a little tremble and a little rattle consistently. Picked it up and reeled in thinking it was a schoolie, and when I got it right on the edge there, it was a tiny little silver eel and it dropped off right in front of the rod rest there. So after a bit of cursing and swearing, he went back. I untangled the rig, covered in slime, and then sat back on my box and realised the camera weren't on. There you go, no one wants to see an eel. So it's just approaching 3 o'clock now, and up to now the tally is just one little school bass and a little silver eel. I've missed a couple of other bites in between times, potentially those little eels ripping up the bait, but apart from that, quite slow. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but when I'm sort of looking to go and do one of these somewhere, I look at as many coastal reports and Facebook reports as I can to see if there's anywhere that's fishing well. And I've just noticed in the last 3 weeks it's been absolutely dire. You know, everyone's saying the same thing. They're going with prime bait to decent locations and decent conditions, and they're not getting a bite. Very, very strange conditions at the moment. Looks like a bite. Little something on there. Potentially another eel. What we got here? Oh! Yes. It's not massive, and it's not my tea tonight, but target species. A lovely little sole. Just want one twice the size now, but I'm not going to complain. Let's just get him down here in a bit of water. Well, there he is. He's not the biggest one I've ever caught, but I needed him for my species hunt. So now let's try and get his mum or dad. Just coming up to high tide. There's a fish on there. Thought I saw a few knocks earlier on, but it didn't develop. It's obviously hanging on there. What have we got this time? Another little sole. In fact, it's slightly bigger, that one. Turn the torch off. Yeah, there we go. It's the second one in 2 casts now. Important now to get that rig straight out, the baited rig. I'll just drop that down there for a sec. Get this one straight out. They might be just feeding over this high tide. Well, that one actually looks like it might be within my size limits. I mean, the size limit for sole is very small. It's something like 24. But I don't tend to take them under 30 centimetres, so that won't be far off. Hook out. That's quite thick as well, that one. So there he is, that one. That's about 28 centimetres. But he is very nice and thick, but I'm going to slip him back. Beautiful little fish, really weird little mouths. Let's get him back. Well, that's not been out there that long, and I think that's another one. Really strange bites they seem tonight. I'm getting like a little pull down indication and then a couple of little taps. So I'm going to check that one. I've got the next rig already baited up again, ready to go. So I think while I'm getting a few bites, I'll check it a little bit more regularly. I've got the tip light off now, and I've also took the external mic off so I can plug the camera in to charge a bit. I think there's another bite on there. I'm going to get that in and have a look. Slack line me again, that's the slack line. Yeah. Tiny little schoolie. That is small. Absolute minute little schoolie, look at that. Perfection in miniature. Let's get him unhooked and get him back. Right, time's ticking on now, it's just gone 6 o'clock. As I say, it's quite a grey and overcast day. I can't even see the Southwold power station down there at the moment, it's that misty. So that one's been tapped and banged again, I'm not sure. Just had that little micro bass, it's probably another one of those. We'll have a quick check. No, nothing on there this time. I haven't been out there for long, to be honest with you. So I'm going to change this rig over a strip clean. There's not a bit of bait left on that. I'm going to change that one over for the earth next time. I've still got obviously the 2-hook boom rig that's been doing most of the bites tonight. I just did that little one up and one down ago, but it's not produced. So as I say, after this next cast I'm going to put the earth rig back on here. Slightly bigger hooks now. Put that out a little bit further. Tighten her up. So the best time on today's session was definitely just before and just after high tide. Seemed to attract the most bites then. I think I'm up to 4 sole, 2 bass and the little eel, which you didn't see because it wasn't recording. And they've come in little patches, the bites. I've got about 20 worms left now, so probably another 10 casts. That should be about right, I would have thought. I'll probably finish around about 7ish at this rate. I'm not going to bother with the second rod. I was very tempted to get it out a little while ago and rig it up with a whole raw prawn, but no, I'm going to concentrate on this rod to the end now. And what I shall do at the end, I'll show you the layout of the place like I normally do when I first get here. Obviously it was pitch black, dark, wasted time doing that last night, so I'll do it at the end of the video. Just to give you an idea where it is, where to park. Looking up towards the pier. And obviously that's the lighthouse up there. It's been spinning round all night. There's dog walker, and she's carried the dog down to the edge. That looks like a little bass or something rattling around on there. had a lot of these little sharp, very small sharp bites, and they don't develop into nothing. Probably little bass or even those eels. Right, let's get that earth rig out. Something on here. Well, it was. Yeah, I think there's something on there. Yep, another tiny little schoolie. Just as I suspected. They're not getting bigger, they're getting smaller now. But there you go, it's another fish. Get him straight back. Oh, it's just dropped off, look at that. All that is, there's a little earth bar there, same lead, hybrid 5 ounce, and you've got a 4-foot hook link there on the main line, and then another little 10-inch hook link teed off 18 inches above. As I say, they cast really well, and you can actually see the rig and the baits and the hooks all trailing behind the lead, and you can see if it gets tangled or anything, which is good. So you could quite easily see last night when I come down and with my head torch, this little ridge running along here is obviously the high tide line. So I was able to set up just about 6 foot back from the top of there, and literally the water has come right to here. So that's always worth noting. It looks like it's built up quite a bit up there as well. It's quite a steep step down, if you like. But looks like it's a very popular beach during the day. There's loads of sand castles and holes and all sorts of stuff dug. So if you are coming over across there in the dark, just watch out for these holes that they've left. That was a good knock. And it wasn't when there was any waves, so I think there's something on there now. Just give it a few seconds, see if it goes again. I found that quite a lot tonight. You get that initial knock, or a good pull down, and then that's it. Definitely something on there, rattling away. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I've got another one. Another sole. That's a better one. That is a better one. That's almost eating size, I would say. Let's have a quick look on the measure. Yep, that's just in. Just 30, that. Brilliant. That's my tea sorted anyway. Well, there you go. I've finally got something I can take home and have for my tea. So that just about scrapes 30, which is my limit, minimum. I'll get a nice meal out of that, and that'll be my tea tonight. Bring it back. Don't leave it there. Well, it's just come up 6:45 now. Tide's well on the way out. Worms are almost finished. Dog's now finished his breakfast. I'm deciding to try and eat all the little lugworm cut-offs and everything. My last cast is now out. I've used all the rest of the worms up now. I'm getting the odd little pluck on there again now, so could well get another one before the finish. I've ended up with 5 soles, 4 small ones and one just about takeable, 30 centimetres. A couple of 3 schoolie bass and a slightly better one, the very first fish I caught, and that little eel. So it's not been too bad a night. I've got my target species, which I came for. Might have got a few more if the sea had been a little bit calmer. As you can see, it's got quite a lump on it now this morning. The wind's sort of dropped off a little bit to what it was in the night. It got up to, I reckon, 17 mile an hour gusts, I think it said, and it felt like that as well. Much cooler day, very overcast at the moment and cloudy. So yeah, I'm now going to get that rod in and start packing up and head for home. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon on another one. So this is Ferry Road that comes down from the main town of Southwold, and then you come along here and you'll see this little sign here for the tea rooms, and then you've got this bit of parking on the side here. Now this is Ferry Road North, and according to that sign up there, Ferry Road North, free parking. There's 2 or 3 other Ferry Road car parks on that list. You've got to be careful you don't park in some of the others. So this one here, Ferry Road North. There's the list down there underneath. You've got Ferry Road Southwold, Ferry Road North, Harbour Quay East, Harbour Quay West. So make sure you're parked in the right one. This one is definitely free. The others are free from 6 PM at night to 8 AM in the morning, so if you want to park in them, you can, as with all these car parks. So this is the access slope to the top of here. That's just then a short walk up to the top of the slope, about 50 metres I'd say. Once you're around the top, follow the slope round, and that takes you straight on, direct access to the beach. And I was fishing literally straight across there where that crow is. So you've got public toilets here, and you've also got this, which is the Gun Hill Beach Kiosk. And this is all the sort of stuff they do. I think they've got a Google site, and it's also on Facebook. You can see you can get your rolls, bacon and eggs and sausage rolls, drinks. There's a lunch menu, toasted sandwiches, fish fingers, you name it, that's all on the menu. Got some seating here as well. And that there takes you right along the top of the prom, and you'll end up back near the lighthouse and on the main prom there. Public toilets. There's the sign. Haven't seen the toilets yet, unless the sign's been moved. Potentially up there. We'd have to do a bit more digging. Anyway, that's Gun Hill, part of Southwold, and it's what they call, it's south of the lighthouse. And obviously, because I brought the dog with me, this is the beach I had to use until the end of September. Once you get to the end of September, beginning of October, the restrictions for dogs on the main beach are dropped. So it's virtually the same as everywhere you go. And that was it. carry on down that road, you'll come to the harbour. There's another car park down there, that's a pay and display, but again free from 6 PM to 8 AM in the morning, and that's a short walk to the beach, and you can fish just at the mouth of the river.